Alright guys, how's it going? Today we have games that are analysed from an actual over-the-board games that I played at the chess club that I attend. We have two games, both against the same opponent, Ivor. Very, very nice. Full of weird facts, old man, who definitely knows his stuff about chess. The first game, definitely something. He loves his Sicilian, he loves his offbeat openings. We just trade. We really would trade over the board, and it's crazy. The first game was kind of just an absolute walk through. Second game was one of the most intense games that he ended up staying late behind just to finish the game. This game must have went on for 2 hours plus. Honestly, over the board, 2 hours plus. We had spectators and everyone else finished their games, came, started looking at ours, staying behind extra late and everything to watch. Started playing chess at 1 o'clock, finished at 5:30. Over the board. Lucy, get down. Sorry, cat's eating flowers here. I can't be having that there. I don't think he's eat them ones. So, going to jump straight into it. This is the first game. I had the white pieces. He had the black pieces. And next game we flip. This one is going to be for 2 seconds. Lucy, get down. Lucy, go. Blood cats are paying the hole. Out. Okay, so I walked out. So, let's just jump straight into it. You're going to see the ELO bar, but obviously, in real life, you don't have an ELO bar. Here we go. So, it started off, I tried to go for the Vienna, but he loves his Sicilian. Went for the Alpin. The reason I like the Alpin, it gives you a big, strong center. Computer does say I should have brought my knight out, but I was fully planning on bringing my knight out here. Now, straight off the bat, over the board, I make a blunder. Now, this is a blunder because he wins material here in the center. He can capture it with his knight. He can capture it with the queen. And then, take, queen takes, knight takes. And he just has such a better position. But he decides to throw in an in-between move and give a check instead. When he gives the check, it gives me the opportunity to block. If I blocked with the bishop, it would have cut off the eyes to this pawn in the center and just would have been so lost there. So he takes his queen. We trade queens in the center. Computer says I should have went king f2. Now, I decided to go bishop b3 to possibly open up the f file if he does take. I could have just kept the bishop there. I was also, keep in mind, all over the board. I was also looking at moves possibly like bishop e3. Let's see what the computer thinks about that. Bishop e3, not so good. Computer says here that bishop here would have been better, or possibly rook. It's just moving the rook across one square would have been better. I really don't know why. Couldn't explain that one. But we are already in quite a lost position here at the minute. So we double our pawns. We get the knight out. Now the reason I put this bishop here, because if I castled, he would have got his bishop here with check. And then I can't get my bishop out. I need to move my king across. So I did decide, okay, we'll put our bishop here first. The reason we put our bishop here first is to stop that check and allows us to castle. He immediately strikes in the center. Computer says I should have pushed. The knight does not have an awful lot of good squares to go to. Can either go backwards or go on the rim, which obviously is not ideal. And once it goes on the rim, it's probably not getting out of there unless he pushes and then reroutes it this way. But instead, I calculated him taking, me putting the knight out, or bishop out to attack the knight. So if I then did take the knight, it ruins his pawn structure. But he takes, forcing me to take again. If I do take, say we go bishop here, he just takes. And he doesn't even need to take. He can take here first. Yeah, we come back and then he takes. He's just up a full bishop. We probably would get this pawn after, but there's very little there for us. To be fair, there's very little for us in this entire game. So we take with a rook. I did decide to go for a wee rerouting tactic. Defend this square to possibly put our knight on it and trade off. So that's exactly what we do. We pop the knight there, we trade off, and here I got a wee bit too ambitious and went for a sacrifice. Now, would have probably worked. Now, I did try to look at this move, rook g3, didn't seem to work out in my mind. Obviously, computer says it's the better move. We'll have a look. We look at that sequence. Rook g3 would have led to something along these lines. Okay, swap the rooks. Probably would have got the pawn there in the end. But bishop and a knight versus that. How did I not see that? What was his move that he actually done? See, in this position, what he actually done was take. He takes. We take. Yeah, and then, you know, it's just ultimate pressure building up here. Say he did not move his rook. Say he did not move his rook here. And he just went for, I don't even know what he'd done in the game. I can't even remember what he'd done. But, right. I say something simple like, push this pawn. Okay? Mate in 6. Okay? There's a mate in 6. Say, for example, he takes the knight. There's a 6.4 advantage. You just see how fast that could change. Now, the reason is because of check. Here, we get the bishop. Okay, now we're kind of even, but then it's check again, so he needs to move. What happens now? There's a mate in 4. He doesn't, and he blocks. This is what the computer says is the only move. And we take. He then has got rook g8, and he escapes. But if he doesn't sacrifice his rook to help that, we've got check. Rook g7, king h8, rook takes, or by then rook g5, rook g5, mate. Or no, what? E5? Oh, to block, take, and then rook f6, take. That was kind of something I was going for, but instead I forgot to move the rook over 1 square. If I'd done that, the sacrifice would have been completely different. But instead, we get to this position, and it's really, really lost. We get here. Now, the computer says this is a blunder, but that's not what happened. No, it is what happened. Yeah, it is. Then I went here. Computer says I should have taken. If I take, he takes, we get the oh, how did I not see that? How did I not see that? Instead, I got too worried. Obviously, I'm not going to take the bishop because we lose the rook. We take the bishop. He gets here. He gets to stop us. Okay? That's very, very simple. But I should have taken the rook. The way I take the rook, if I take, say he doesn't take and he goes here, you know, we're up a rook for a bishop. So much better. Obviously, he does have 2 more pawns than we do. But, see, one move. I thought at this point he was dominating me, that I had nowhere to go. So instead I went here. He took with the bishop. You know, if I take, then it's just lost because I can't take the bishop. He's up a bishop in the game. That's nuts. That is nuts. How did I not see that and do that? But that's how the game ended. I resigned that one. We took a wee break and we moved on to the next. This game. Holy crap. This game. So, he's like, I'll tell you what, we'll go for something a wee bit offbeat. And what did he do? Well, I went for the Dutch just because I was thinking, should I take full control of the center? Should I... That was it. I was like, should I just try to take full control of the center or just play something offbeat? I am glad I played something offbeat. Because this man double Fian Caddoed. What? And a double Fian Caddo. So the main point of this, the knights, excuse me, are defending all of these squares. Okay? The bishops are then looking through the knights at these squares. Oh my god, why can't I draw arrows? They're looking through the knights at these squares. So my whole game had to kind of be controlling it from a distance just as he is, while my pawns control, you know, these are all the squares that I am currently controlling with my pawns. Obviously I'm missing one up here, but I'm getting a wee bit more on the outskirts than he is. He is obviously controlling quite a lot. But anyway, the game continued. Development is normal. I did want to push here. I wanted to push the pawn, but I was afraid of something like this. Then obviously if I go here, it just takes. Okay. Computer says it should have went here, or he should have went there. But so we throw the knight up. We then fiancado our bishop. We did trade down because we were attacked. That bishop went there today. It was the whole point. I was possibly thinking about rerouting the knight to defend the square even further. But we do kind of get kicked around a wee bit. He didn't have a target. That was one of the things he said. It's like, I don't have a target. I'm going to try force the issue. And he done that by moving the rook over. Because if he does push and explode the center up, you know, his rook is very, very close to pinning my queen to my king. So, we forced the issue and he forced the issue and we castled queenside. We started getting kind of pushed around and lost a pawn in the center. Getting pushed around a wee bit more by his knight. Here, I had one of two plans. I could either go to knight d8 or knight e7. If I went to knight e7, my plan was we can reroute this way, attacking the knight. If he decides to trade, we open up the h file. Okay. Also, we can jump in here. If we jump in there, we trade down the knights, protected by the bishops and everything. So that would have looked something like, say, just done this. We went here. It would have been takes, say, you know, takes. Yeah, you know, that trade would have benefited us. Computer does say take with a queen because then you've got a mate. Which, yeah, so that would have looked something like this. Say he got lazy, brought his queen out, mate. You know, it's mate on that square. So he needs to block with his pawns. That's not what happens. And what actually happens is we go d8. So d8 allows us, or allows him to push the pawn, completely blocking the light square bishops from seeing each other. Both of our knights are looking at that square, but my knight is under attack while his is not. My knight is under attack by his bishop, but his knight is under attack by my pawn. Okay, so he jumps into the center. Now, he did not like this pawn push at all. He was not expecting it. He jumped into the center, which allowed us to go for a nice trade by having our knight on d8. Allows us to take, and we're just up a pawn. Okay, he trades off the bishops, he trades off the knights, or knight for bishop, and bishop for bishop. We decide, okay, we're just going to start pushing our pawns, you know, opposite side castling. That's the whole idea. Here, I did not want to take him. It probably would have been, we go take, he gets the open file. Okay, and then he's got, you know, we've got 4 on 4. And 3 on 3. Obviously, my 3 here are a lot more advanced, but they're quite weak. So they are. That's not what happens. I allow him to take us, get the rook over, and start pushing more on that side. We're jumping into the position, attacking the weaknesses. Probably should have attacked the weakness over here, because he can't double push. If he does push once, again, we could just capture it. So I should have seen this. That would have been so much nicer and changed the game. We made a mistake by pushing the pawn. He made a follow mistake by pushing the rook. Taking the pawn was a great move. He took with the king. This really threw him off as well. I don't know if he was expecting a check. What would a check look like? It doesn't look too pretty. It doesn't look pretty. It allows his king into our possession. But we decided, okay, we're going to give you an option. What pawn are you going to take first? Okay. He decides to double his rooks. So once this file opens up, he's got massive pressure on this pawn. So what do? Completely ignore it and double up our rooks. This allows us to possibly go here. So say for example, he made a move by pushing his knight or his pawn. We take, and our pawn is getting through. If that whole trade went down, we would be winning. So instead, what again actually ended up happening was he took. When he took, we give a check. Give a check just for good measure, separating his king away from his pawn. We then push our pawn forward. When he did go there, didn't he? Yeah, I think he did. So when we pushed our pawn, realized this is a very, very strong weakness. If he pushes and takes, that, you know, kind of benefits us, as his rook is not going to get in on the F file. So he does push. We can again ignore it and go for the weakness. Now we cannot take, as he'll take our rook. So the whole idea here was we can start to march our king up and take that pawn. And he does kind of enable that when he gives us the check. It allows us to bring the pawn or bring the king over, attacking the pawn. His very clear intention to attack the pawn chain at the base. So we take. He comes in and attacks our base of our pawn. Now this is a blunder. Why is this a blunder? This is a blunder because of takes, and he gets the base of the chain, and then there's just kind of no stopping it really. Once he starts pushing down, there's no stopping it at that point. But he does not. I think he gets a wee bit worried, and instead what he decides to do is go all the way back. So that gives us the opportunity to get our king in. So I did also look at this move to possibly attack, but I thought if I go here and he takes, what am I going to do? I can't take this pawn. Bring the king in. I'm going to start getting. I can't bring the king in because that rook will get taken. So I didn't really see that. I decided we'll bring the king in first, chow down on the pawns, and then we'll bring the rook over. Once we brought the rook over, it's a lot more difficult for him to promote this pawn. We block the check with our rook, deciding to go, if there is a trade here. We can just take, and it's going to be quite easy for us to get this pawn forward. But again, that's not what happened. He brings his rook back. We decide to bring our king in, attacking his rook, put a bit of pressure on it. He slides it way out of the way. And this was a big, big time for me to think, we can't take. Excuse me. But I was also thinking, push c4, rook here, pin the rook, he has to take, we take, gets our pawn even closer. So that would have looked something like, say for example, he pushes his pawn, we go here, takes, that helps us so much more, okay? But also in this position he has got king g2, computer says king g2, keeps it even. Yeah, high, takes, push. Yes, and then he can come in here. Then, oh well, no he can't because we just take. Corey, what are you thinking? Regardless of what could have happened, this is what happened. We give him a check with the a rook instead. He decides to go down because if he went backwards, it would have just been, well, it wouldn't have been a lot of check. Let's say he went there, jack, could have blocked. I think that probably would have been one of the only moves. Block, take. Yeah. And then our pawn's a lot closer here, and it's not under attack. His rook is stuck defending his a pawn. So we give him a discovered check, giving us the opportunity to possibly push the pawn forward. But the reason we shouldn't do it right now, because if we push the pawn, check, what happens now? King b5, he takes the pawn. Okay, so that's just obviously so much better for him. We did not want that to happen, so instead I decided, okay, we'll put the rook there, so if we do get checked, we move here, defend the rook. If he takes, we take, and with the king, and we just continue marching. But instead he promotes, sacrifices his pawn. Now he has the two rooks. We have a rook and two pawns. He has two rooks and one pawn, but our pawns are right up in there. He had to move his rooks all the way from attacking in our side of the board all the way back to defending and stopping promotion. Now here we just need to find a way to convert. So I thought, okay, two connected pawns that close to the promotion square are stronger than one rook. Are they stronger than two? I don't know. Here, keeping our rook on the fifth file stopped his king from getting closer to the pawn, which was a massive idea and helped us ridiculously. So we fell back. Mir says that we should give a check, but I thought that just allows him to get closer. So we fall back. He comes over to help push the h pawn forward. We jump in front of the h pawn, and he pushes his king down, but it's just one square too far. And I said that to him, your king is one square too far. Now we can take. He decides to throw in an in-between move of going check. But in the end, that just benefits us because now takes. He has to take the rook or else he loses it. So take it or lose it. He takes it. We promote with check. And the game continues for a few more moves, giving a few checks here, not playing the strongest of moves, trying to get the king in nice and close. But ultimately, we give up. And after playing for like over 2 hours, I offered a draw. I found out I do not know how to checkmate with a rook versus a queen. So that is something I now have to learn. And this is what happens. You play your games, you get in a position that you end up drawing, hopefully not by, well, stalemate or run out or material. I did not know how to convert a queen. It's a very, very small advantage, and you will have to give him a lot of checks and hope that he makes a mistake. But I just don't know. I don't see it. Check. And what? He comes closer. Check. And he goes here. I don't want to take because he takes and it's a draw anyway. Like, what is the best move? How do you do this? Computer says it's a draw. For some reason, it's just now went to a draw. You see that? I don't know. I really have no idea on how to convert this in the slightest. You know, you could repeat moves. You could here. You could block. You could go here. You could block again here, and then, you know, you're just repeating the moves over and over and over again. I just can't see it. That is why I offered a draw. This is how my longest ever over the board game had went. Trying to get practiced and ready for the tournament coming up in March. But, oh, jeez. We had people watching, spectating, and he stayed late behind. So, Ivor, if by some miracle you end up seeing this video, thank you so much for that. And everyone at the Lisburn Chess Club, thank you. But yeah, guys, that has been 2 of the most intense over the board games I've played. I'm going to try to record them. I've got the proper recording sheets and stuff to actually get the games. We do have a end of month tournament as well on Wednesday that I should be able to go to. Don't know if I'll be able to keep track of the times because it's going to be a time, or moves because it's going to be a timed game. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If there is any suggestions at all, please leave them in the comments below. And yeah, very much appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.